Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your kind association. Let's get started with our study of Bhagavad Gita. We are going to start chapter number 9 today. So let's get started. There are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita, and the 9th chapter is considered to be the most important chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It is entitled Raja Vidya, or the most confidential knowledge. There is nothing higher than this, because it is in this chapter that in the end, Krishna is going to teach us the ultimate lesson. Man mana bhavamad bhakto. There is nothing higher than that. So let's get started with chapter number 9. Let's begin with our Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Śrīvāsādi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So again, this is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, entitled The Most Confidential Knowledge. All the translations and purports are by our beloved founder Acharya, Om Vishnupad, Shri Śrīmad, Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Idam tu te guhyatamam pravaksham anasuyave jnanam vidjnana sahitam yadnyatva mokshase shubhat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, said to Arjuna, "My dear Arjun, because you are never envious of me, anasuyave, one who is non-envious." So Krishna is saying, Arjun, because you are not envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge. Guhya tamam. There is Guhya, there is Guhya Tara, and there is Guhya Tamam. Guhya means confidential. Guhya Tara means more confidential. And Guhya Tamam means the most confidential. So this is not Guhyam. This is not confidential. This is not Guhya Tara. This is not more confidential. What is this? 9th chapter. It is, in Krishna's own words, it is Guhya Tamam. It is the most confidential knowledge. Idam tu te guhya tamam. I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization. Praksham means I am speaking this guhya tamam, most confidential knowledge to you. What will be the effect of understanding this most confidential knowledge? Knowing this, you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence. Jnanam vidnyanam. This is most confidential knowledge. Guhyatamam jnanam and Guhyatamam vidnyanam. This is the most confidential knowledge and realization. So Jnana means knowledge and Vijnana means realization. So to know theoretically that if water is cooled below 0 degrees Celsius, water will solidify into ice. This is theoretical knowledge. This is Jnana. But to actually take water to an atmosphere where the temperature is, let's say, -5, and to actually see that water becoming into ice, solidifying into ice, that is called Vijnana, realization. To say that every day we should wake up in the morning and we should sit on one asana and chant at least 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. To know this is Jnana. That yes, our scriptures have said, Kali Santarna Upanishad has said, Chaitanya Bhagavad has said, our scriptures have said that we should chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It is the opinion of the acharyas that we should do this during Brahma Muhurta in the morning. So this is all Jnana, knowledge. To actually wake up in the morning at 3:30, get ready and sit down on one asana, and to actually sit and chant for 2 hours, 16 rounds, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And by doing this, by experiencing closeness with Krishna, experiencing some attraction for Krishna, and feeling inner peace and devotion and inner joy, bhajan ananda, the ananda of bhajan, by experiencing bhajan ananda, that becomes Vijnana, realization. That is the difference between knowledge and realization. Knowledge is theoretical, realization is practical. So we give this example. To theoretically read, yes, we have to chant 16 rounds every day, but to actually do it and then experience the increase in devotion in the heart that we feel by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, that is realization. So Krishna is saying, because you are anasuyave, because you are non-envious, because if you are envious, then we are disqualified from receiving confidential knowledge. Envy displeases Krishna. Vaishnava aparad displeases Krishna. Therefore, it is very harmful, because our success in the practice of dharma depends on pleasing Krishna. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhokshaje ahaytuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Atha pumbir dvija shrestha varnashrama vibhagasha swanushidasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Dharmasya samsiddhir is haritoshanam. Pleasing Krishna is the siddhi, perfection of dharma. So if Krishna is displeased, we are a failure in spiritual life. If Krishna is pleased, we are successful in spiritual life. So Krishna is saying, because Arjun, you are anasuyave, you are non-envious, I will impart this knowledge and I will give you realization. This is Krishna's greatness. Krishna can give us knowledge and Krishna can give us realization. For a sadhak, it is a journey. First, there is knowledge. Ādau Shraddha tatha sadhu sangha. In sadhu sangha, we get instructions, we get knowledge. And then we do bhajana kriya. We practice the instructions given to us by the sadhus. And by doing that, there is anartha nivritti and there is Krishna nishtha. We get attached to Krishna and we become free from lust, anger, greed, etc. That is called realization. So for us to go from Jnana to Vijnana is a journey. We read Bhagavad Gītā, we hear the lectures of Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Varga, we understand what is knowledge. And we follow their instructions, chanting at least 16 rounds attentively every day, following the 4 regulative principles, having a service attitude, associating with devotees, hearing, doing puja, archana, seva. By doing all this, we become purified and we develop love for Krishna, and that becomes realization. So for a sadhak, it is a journey from knowledge to realization. But Krishna can bypass all this. And Krishna can directly give knowledge along with realization. This is called Kripa Siddha. For example, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he saw that Srivas Thakur, who was a great devotee in Gaura Leela, in the Leela, in the pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srivas Thakur is Shripad Narad Muni. Sri Narad Muni took incarnation as Srivas Thakur 500 years ago, along with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srivas Thakur was a very dear devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to visit him every day. And he would see that every day dhobi comes. He has a pile of clothes of Srivas Thakur, his wife's clothes, Malini Devi, all the household members. Srivas Thakur had 3 other brothers, Sri Ram, Srinidhi, Sripati. Their clothes, their wives' clothes, their children's clothes. This dhobi used to wash the clothes of Srivas Thakur's family members. And every day he would bring. He was a professional. That was his profession. But he used to do it very nicely. And Srivas Thakur was very pleased with this dhobi. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu observed this. And one day Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just asked Srivas Thakur, Srivas, who is this fellow who comes every day? He was a Muslim man. Dhobi was a Muslim fellow. Who is this? So Srivas Thakur said, he is my dhobi. For many years he has been washing clothes of my family members. It's a very nice dhobi. Acha, you like him? Srivas Thakur said, yes. Sri Chaitanya said, all right, I will give him Krishna Prem right now. Jnanam deham vidnyanam. Gave him knowledge that Krishna Prem is the highest, Prema Pumarto Mahan, and actually gave him Krishna Prem. So a sadhak goes to stages, Adav Shraddha, Tatha Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivriti, Nishtha, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, Prem. These are the 9 stages of a sadhak. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just gave him an elevator. No need of climbing, taking so many 9 flights of stairs. Just take an elevator straight. Took him to the platform of Krishna Prem. So Krishna can do that. Now Arjun is already a Krishna Premi Jan. Arjun is already having Krishna Prem. But as far as the Leela is concerned, Krishna is saying, because you are anasuyave, because you are non-envious, I am very pleased with you. Bhakto sime sakha cheti, you are my bhakta, you are my devotee, you are my friend, you are non-envious. Therefore I will give you jnanam teham vidnyanam. Jnanam vidnyana sahitam. Along with jnan, I will give you vidnyan also. I will give you realization also. And what will happen when you get this knowledge and realization? Yad jnatva moksha se ashubhat. All the ashubh, all the inauspiciousness in your life, all this material existence, all the problems of material life, moksha se. You will be released from them. What does it mean? Did problems stop coming to Arjun after hearing Bhagavad Gita? Not at all. Arjun had a son from Subhadra Devi, Krishna's own sister. What was the name of that son? Abhimanyu. What happened to Abhimanyu just few days after hearing Bhagavad Gita? He was killed. Hare Krishna. What happened to the son that Arjun had through Draupadi Devi? His name was Shrutakirti. He was also killed, along with his 4 brothers, by Ashwathama, after the Kurukshetra war. So did Ashubhat, did problems stop coming to Arjun after hearing and understanding Bhagavad Gita? No, but moksha se Ashubhat. Moksha se means you will be released. Prabhupada writes, you will be released from them, which means problems will come, but those problems will not catch you. You will be released. Those problems will not bind you. Those problems will not create a obstacle in your bhajan. So, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi happens to everyone. Anybody who has a material body, anybody who is in this material world has to go through these changes. Srila Prabhupada became old. Srila Prabhupada got heart attack. Srila Prabhupada got stroke. Srila Prabhupada became physically sick. So did Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So did Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Srila Gaur Kishordas Babaji Maharaj. He developed cataracts and physically, on a physical plane, lost his eyesight. So Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj also, he was almost like not even able to open his eyelids. He was so old and frail and weak, almost like myasthenia gravis, where he could not even open his eyelids. He needed Bihari ji to open his eyes. Bihari was his personal servant. So like that, we see all our acharyas, they go through physical ailments. They go through material problems. Material problems will come upon everyone. But Krishna is saying, Yad Jnatva moksha se ashubhat. Moksha se. You will be, problems will come, but they will not cause misery. Srila Prabhupada's disciple, His Holiness Sridhar Swamiji, he got some liver problem, and he went to Sridham Mayapur to leave his body there. His samadhi is there in Sridham Mayapur, His Holiness Sridhar Swami Maharaj. So when he was there, my Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, called him on the phone one day and asked him how he was doing, how his bhajan was going. And Maharaj said, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Panchatattva, the bhajan is going on well. At that time, Srila Sridhar Swami told my Guru Maharaj that I want to share one realization with you. And what was that realization? His Holiness Sridhar Swami Maharaj said that problems in this world are compulsory. Problems in this world are compulsory, but misery is optional. Whether those problems make us miserable, that is optional. If we take shelter of Krishna, then those problems don't cause misery. But if we don't take shelter of Krishna, then those problems will really catch us. It will not be moksha se. We will not get mukti from those problems. Those problems will grab us, pull us down, pull our consciousness down, and make us really bewildered and confused. So problems will come for devotees as well as for non-devotees, but devotees have ashraya. They have shelter because of Sharanagati. And therefore, the problems come and they go, as the dualities of this world will come and go. Summer season will come, winter season will come, rainy season will come. There will be heat, there will be cold, there will be happiness, there will be distress. Sometimes we are honored, sometimes we are dishonored. Sometimes we are appreciated, sometimes we are criticized. Sometimes we are successful, sometimes we are embarrassed. This happens in life. So these are dualities, but we will be able to tam stitikshasva bharat. We will be able to tolerate it. So Shri Krishna is saying that, my dear Arjun, because you are non-envious, I will impart to you this guhyatamam, most confidential knowledge, as well as realization. Jnanam vidnyanam sahitam. And once by knowing this, what will happen? Knowing this, yad jnatva moksha se ashubhat. You will be relieved from all the miseries of material existence. Idam tute guhyatamam pravaksham anasuyave jnanam vidnyana sahitam yad jnatva moksha se ashubhat. Purport, Srila Prabhupada says, please listen carefully. Srila Prabhupada says, as a devotee hears more and more about the Supreme Lord Krishna, the devotee becomes enlightened. Shrunvatam swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtana ridh antasto hi abhadrani vidhunoti surhit satam. Our heart will become pure just by hearing Krishna Nam, Krishna Katha. So Cheto Darpana Marjanam happens by Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So Srila Prabhupada says, as a devotee hears more and more, therefore we must hear Hari Katha. We must hear Hari Kirtan from the pure devotees. This will cause enlightenment and purification. Next page. Last sentence of this purport, Srila Prabhupada says, this 9th chapter, what the topics of this 9th chapter are more confidential than any Krishna has already disclosed. So we are in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gītā, and Lord Srila Prabhupada is saying that what Lord Krishna is going to describe in this 9th chapter, it is more confidential than anything that Krishna has discussed so far. This is a topmost knowledge, Raja Vidya. Srila Prabhupada further says, in the very beginning of Bhagavad Gita, in the first chapter, what is the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita? Prabhupada says it is more or less an introduction to the rest of the Bhagavad Gita. The second and third chapters, the spiritual knowledge is described as confidential, because in the second, third chapter, there is information about some transcendental knowledge. There is information about the soul, spirit soul. So second and third chapters, the information is confidential. Why it is called confidential? Because this knowledge is not easily available. You go to watch a movie, this knowledge will not be given to you. You go to school, this knowledge will not be given to you. You go to college and universities, this knowledge of the soul will not be given to you. Therefore, it remains guhyam. It remains confidential. But this is there in the 2nd and 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Confidential knowledge is there. Topics discussed in the 7th and 8th chapters are specifically related to devotional service because they bring enlightenment in Krishna consciousness, and they are called more confidential. So Guhya is the 2nd and 3rd chapter. Guhya Tara, more confidential, is the 7th and 8th chapter that we just finished reading. And this chapter, 9th chapter, Prabhupada says, but the matters which are described in this 9th chapter deal with unalloyed pure devotion, Kevala Bhakti. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that 9th chapter describes Kevala Bhakti. Kevala Bhakti means pure devotional service. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma, the lotus feet of Shri Guru, are Kevala Bhakati Sadma. They are the abode of Kevala Bhakti. Kevala Bhakti is another name for Uttama Bhakti, pure devotional service. 9th chapter deals with pure devotional service. Therefore, it is most confidential, Prabhupada says. Therefore, this is called the most confidential knowledge. Srila Prabhupada ji in the last paragraph of this purport says the Sanskrit word Anasuyave is very significant in this verse. Arjuna is called Anasuyave by Krishna. Anasuyave, Prabhupada says, means one who is non-envious. Prabhupada says that many of the scholars who comment on Bhagavad Gita, they are envious of Krishna. And then Prabhupada says the commentaries given by devotees of Krishna are bona fide. Because in Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only a devotee can understand Krishna. Bhaktya tvananya shakya evam vidho Arjuna. Only vidha means to know. Only a bhakta, only a devotee of Krishna can understand Krishna. Bhaktya tvananya shakya. Only by bhakti it is shakya, it is possible. Bhaktya tvananya shakya aham evam vidho Arjuna. Jnatum drashtum cha tattvena praveshtum cha parantam. One can have pravesh, one can have entrance into the mysteries of Krishna. Krishna is a most mysterious person. Most mysterious person, Krishna. Ādi Purush. Govindam Ādi Purush. Tamaham bhajami. Most mysterious personality. He is the original. Sarva Karana Karanam. If there is anything that is mysterious, the Karan, the cause of that is Krishna. Sarva Karana Karanam. So he is the most mysterious personality, Krishna. So Krishna will reveal himself to us if we are devotees. Otherwise, Krishna will not reveal. Naham Prakasha Sarvasva. Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. I am not revealed to everybody. Yoga Maya Samavita. I am covered by my Yoga Maya Shakti. Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. Mudoham Nabhijanati. Fools cannot understand me, Krishna says. But at the same time, Krishna says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanas tattvata. In tattva, the devotees can know me. So now, Prabhupada is saying that the commentaries on Bhagavad Gita given by the devotees are bona fide. Not by some scholar, not by some professional who wants to earn money by writing a translation or commentary on Bhagavad Gita, not by some political person who wants to achieve some political motive. No. The commentary of the Bhaktas on Bhagavad Gita are bona fide. The commentary of Srila Prabhupada, the Bhaktivedanta purports, they are bona fide. The commentary of Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, they are the bona fide commentaries. The commentary of Sripad Ramanujacharya on Bhagavad Gita, they are bona fide. The commentary of Sripad Madhavacharya, that is bona fide, like that. So Prabhupada further says, no one can explain Bhagavad Gita or give perfect knowledge of Krishna if that person is envious. How do you say that someone is envious of Krishna? Can you raise your hand and share some thoughts? When would you say that someone is envious of Krishna? Because Prabhupada is saying here that if one is envious, one cannot explain Krishna, one cannot understand Krishna. Yes. Shama Chandrika Mataji, please explain what is the meaning of being envious of Krishna.
Prabhuji, if I'm not wrong, if we are envious of devotees, means we are envious of Krishna.
Very nice. That is one way of understanding. If we are envious of Krishna, then we are envious of. If you are envious of the devotees, then you are envious of Krishna. because Krishna is present in the hearts of the devotees. Tomara hridaya sada Govinda Vishrama. Govinda kahena mora Vaishnava pran. Vaishnava are my pran, they are my life and soul. Sadhunam hridayam aham. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam, sadhunam hridayam toham. The sadhus are in my heart and I am in the heart of the sadhus. Krishna says himself, Sadhavo hridayam mahyam. I am in the heart of the sadhus. So if you are envious towards the devotees, we are envious towards Krishna. That's one very good understanding. Some other reflection on this? Satyarupa Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I had heard in one of Radhesham Prabhu's lecture, Prabhuji, that those who say that Krishna is not supreme, even they can be considered as envious of Krishna.
Yes, because Krishna is supreme. Right? Krishna is supreme. Brahmaji says, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. So all the scriptures are saying Krishna is supreme. Śrīmad Bhagavatam also says, Ete Chamsa Kalapumsa, Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Krishna is Bhagwan. Everyone is saying, Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Ekela Ishvara Krishna, Arasara Bhritya. Ekela Ishvara Krishna. Krishna is the only Ishvara. Arasara Bhritya. Everyone else is his servant. So like that, all the scriptures are saying that Krishna is supreme. And if we say Krishna is not supreme, that means we have envy towards Krishna. They're very good. Nishikant Prabhu, please share your reflection. What do you think it means when we say be envious of Krishna?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I think when Shishupal as well as Indra, they were opposing Krishna in their own capacity that they could. I think that was a demonstration of two different flavors of envy against Krishna.
Superb. Exactly. And Nishikant Prabhu has exactly hit the bullseye. Classic example of envy of Krishna is Shishupal. Classic example. So it is said in Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Gopya Kamad Bhayat Kamso Dvesha is Chaidayado Nripa. Chedi Nripa means Shishupal, who was the Nripa, the king of Chedi, the land, that area where Shishupal was the king is called Chedi. So Shishupal was called Chedi Naresh, the king of Chedi, Kshetra. So Dvesha Chaidayado Nripa. Śrīmad Bhagavatam says, Srila Shukdev Goswami says that Shishupal was Krishna Dveshi. Dvesh means to have envy, enmity. So yes, Shishupal always was criticizing Krishna. Shishupal always was wanting to destroy Krishna, harm Krishna. That is envy. Very nice. Bhakti Prada Champaklata Mataji, you want to share your understanding what it means to be envious of Krishna?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, same thing I was also going to say, supremacy of Krishna and not accepting the scriptures, even though it is written, still envious person, they don't accept.
Correct. They want to be independent. Why should I follow this? I will follow my own rules. I don't follow the rules of the Shastra. Naam Rasa Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
So we know that Krishna has 6 opulences, and if we see any of these opulences in any one of person and we feel envious of that, and that is the direct envy to the Krishna.
Very good. This is what I was waiting for. Very nice. So Krishna is Shad Aishwaryamaya Bhagavan. There are 6 opulences of Krishna. Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashasya, Shriya. These are the, according to Sri Vishnu Puran, these are the opulences of Supreme Personality of God, Bhagavan Krishna. That he has, what are the 6 opulences of Krishna? Shad Aishwarya. One is Krishna's beauty, Krishna's wealth, knowledge, fame, strength, and renunciation. Fame, strength, renunciation, knowledge, beauty. These are the 6 opulences of Krishna. So if we want anything of these 6 things for us, if we want wealth, if we want to be known as someone who is beautiful, if we want to become famous and popular, if we want to have strength to impress others, so wealth to show off, strength to impress others, fame and popularity to become better than others, If we desire any of these opulences, any of these Aishwarya, which belong to Krishna, that is direct envy of Krishna. For example, if, like, I remember in India growing up, there was to be an advertisement which really went very deep in my heart after coming to Krishna consciousness. Onida TV, Onida Color TV. The tagline of that advertisement was owner's pride, neighbor's envy, Onida. And even the mascot was a demon, a devil, green color with horns, like that, because green color indicates envy in the material world. So anybody remembers? Raise your hand if you remember that ad, Onida TV. Owner's pride, the owner is becoming proud and neighbors will become envious. Arey yaar, iske paas to color TV hai. Mere paas black and white hai. So like that. So that is a classical example of envy, that the neighbors are seeing that he has a color TV, I don't have. So let me get that. So when we want something that another person has and we want it for ourselves, that is called envy. So like, for example, Yudhishthir Maharaj in Mahabharata, he performed the Rajasuya Yajna in Indraprastha. Actually, Indraprastha was a very barren land that Dhritarashtra Maharaj gave. 50% kingdom he gave Yudhishthir, 50% he wanted to give to Duryodhana. But he gave the good, flourishing, developed kingdom to Duryodhana and gave ekdam barren land to Yudhishthir. But by Krishna's mercy, and Krishna called Vishwakarma, and it became a very nice, flourishing kingdom. And Maharaj Yudhishthir was able to perform the Rajasuya Yajna there. In the Rajasuya Yajna, everybody was invited and everybody was given some seva. The service of Duryodhana was, anybody knows what was the service of Duryodhana? I'm telling you, Krishna has a very unbelievable sense of humor. Yes, Narayan beta, bolo, what was the service of, sorry, unmute kijiye.
I believe it was to receive gifts.
हाँ, दुर्योधन को सेवा दी थी to receive all the gifts. किसने क्या दिया? This king has sent 5 bullock carts filled with gold coins. Okay, rakho. Okay, this king has given this king has given that. So Yudhishthir Maharaj was getting fabulous gifts from kings all over the world. And Duryodhan's service was to receive all those gifts. Karna's service was to give donation, give charity. But Duryodhana was seeing that how much Yudhishthir Maharaj is receiving, how many gifts he's getting. So what was the effect? Duryodhana became envious. And what did he do when he went back to Hastinapur? He said, Papa, Dhritarashtra Maharaj, let's organize, Mama, Shakuni Mama, let's organize a gambling match. Dyut Krida. Let's invite Yudhishthir and Shakuni Mama, you play on my behalf, you defeat with your special dice, which always obeys you. You defeat Yudhishthir Maharaj, and whatever gifts he has gotten, whatever wealth he has, whatever kingdom he has, armies, weapons, let's take away everything. Envy. This is called dvesh. This is called envy. So, if we have envy, then we cannot understand Krishna and we cannot comment on Bhagavad Gita. Only a person who does not have envy can understand Krishna and can explain Krishna to others. Hare Krishna. So if we want any of the greatness, if we want to become great, we want to become glorified by others, we want name, fame, popularity, glorification, distinction in this world, it is a sort of envy toward Krishna, because all these things belong to Krishna. All fame belongs to Krishna. All glorification belongs to Krishna. All puja pratishtha belongs to Krishna. So if we want कि मेरी पूजा होनी चाहिए, मेरी प्रतिष्ठा, मेरा मान बढ़ना चाहिए, मेरा सम्मान होना चाहिए, लोगों ने मुझे आदर भावना से मेरा सम्मान करना चाहिए, that is envy of Krishna. That's why we say na in Chaitanya Shikshashtakam we say amanina manadena kirtane sadahari. हमें अमानीना होना है, अर्थात हमारे स्वयं के लिए हमें कुछ भी मान की अभिलाषा नहीं होनी चाहिए, कोई भी प्रतिष्ठा की अभिलाषा नहीं होनी चाहिए. We should not desire any respect and glorification for our own self. Everything belongs. That's what we say. All glories to Krishna. All glories to Guru Gauranga. Means no glory to me. All glory to them. That is the mood of a devotee. This is called being non-envious. Now let us look at the second verse of 9th chapter. Let's read with me. Let's read together. Rajavidya rajaguhyam pavitra midamuttamam pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam susukham kartum avyayam. Krishna is saying, he's describing the knowledge that he's going to give to Arjun. He's saying, this knowledge I'm going to give you and this realization that I'm going to give you, Jnana Vidyan, it is Raja Vidya. It is the king of all Vidya. Raja Vidya. Vidya is masculine or feminine? Who can answer? Is Vidya masculine or is it feminine? Parima Mataji, go ahead.
As far as I know, I think it's feminine.
Yes, Vidya is definitely feminine. So यहाँ पे क्या लिखा है? Raj Vidya. The king of Vidya. Vidya ke Raja. What does Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say in the first verse of Sri Chaitanya Shikshashtakam? Cheto darpana marjanam bhavamaha davagni nirvapanam shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam vidya vadhu jivanam. Vadhu, what is the meaning of vadhu? Var vadhu. शादी किसकी होती है? वर और वधु की. So vadhu is the wife, the bride, and var is the husband. So Vidya एक वधु है. Vidya कौन है? वधु है. Vidya is the bride. She is feminine. She is vadhu. Vidya vadhu जीवनम. और उस विद्या नामक वधु के जीवन प्राणनाथ कौन है? जीवन कौन है? श्री कृष्ण संकीर्तन. देखो ऐसा मीनिंग है. That this Krishna Sankirtan, Bhagwan Krishna, and to do Kirtan of Krishna, Bhagwan ki Kirti gao, Bhagwan ka Yash gao, Nama Sudha Rasa gao Krishna Jasha. This is the Vidya Vadhu Jivanam. ये विद्या नामक वधु के जीवन है, प्राणनाथ है. Which means Bhakti is for Krishna, and Krishna is the Raja, or Krishna is the Jivan of Vidya Vadhu. The bride called Vidya. Her husband is Krishna. Which means all Vidya and all Bhakti is meant for Krishna. देखिए कितना deep है. Raja Vidya. So this knowledge of Bhakti in 9th chapter is Raja Vidya. It is Raja Guhyam. It is the most confidential. Guhyam means confidential. Raja Guhyam is the king of all confidential knowledge. अगर सब confidential knowledge रखा गया तो उसका जो सबसे topmost है, that is what is described in this chapter. Man mana bhavamada bhakto. Bhakti of Krishna. Rajavidya rajaguhyam pavitram idamuttamam. This knowledge is pavitram. Pavitram means it is the most pure knowledge. एकदम पवित्र knowledge है ये. कोई इसमें मल नहीं है, अमल है. Normally knowledge has lot of contamination. For example, you learn surgical knowledge. How did this modern surgical knowledge come about? Do you know? I used to be a surgeon in India, so I have studied this in our surgical history. You see, most of the endoscopic instruments and all, they are manufactured by German companies. They are manufactured by German companies. You see, even today, all the endoscopes, laparoscopes, they are manufactured in Germany. Even the Foley catheters, all these things are manufactured in Germany. German company. They were invented in Germany. You know how? In the concentration camps, there were unethical, inhuman experiments conducted on the Jewish prisoners, on the prisoners of war. Without anesthesia, they were cut open. Their kidneys were removed. Their brain surgery was performed to see how the anatomy is, how living organs behave during surgery. Different medicines were tried on them. Everything hidden from the rest of the world. They were free to do, Hitler was free to do whatever he wanted with these people. He used them as guinea pigs. And all these surgical techniques evolved. So behind all this medical, even all the medicines that we have, even today, they are tested. There is phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 trial. They are tested heavily on animals, on rats, on guinea pigs. So there is such heavy karma behind all these medicines, surgical procedures, and everything. So is medical knowledge pure? No, it is not pure. Not at all pure. One of the richest industries in the world is the healthcare industry, pharmaceutical industry. They make so much profit. It is not for profit. It is for profit. So is it pure? No. There is greed behind it. Yeah, there may be some benefit to the world. For example, now there was a global pandemic, and all these big companies like Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, they were just scampering to come up with a vaccine as soon as possible. They wanted to be the first. It was like a race. First to get the EUA, the emergency use authorization from the FDA. So are they doing it purely for Jan Kalyan? हमें कोई स्वार्थ नहीं है अभी. The government is paying them billions of dollars. And then they are recommending इनको भी दो, बच्चों को भी दो, booster दो, ये दो. Now there is science behind that, and I myself took COVID shots and I took the booster dose also, and definitely the benefit outweighs the risks. There is no doubt about it. But is the intention only benevolence? Is the intention purely benefiting the world without any selfish motive? No. There is a strong business motive behind these pharmaceutical products, including vaccines. And many times it is a known fact that there have been cover-ups. Vital information has been withheld from public. There has been fraud. And we all know all these companies, how they are unethical, how they are, corporate America, we don't have to talk much. We know how it is. It's all for profit. Even, I will not name, but there is one business in America. They take donations from people. You can give your old clothes to them. You can give your old furniture to them, and they will give you a receipt, and you can use that for tax credits. So what they do is they receive all these donations from the public, and then they have a store where they kind of just clean up these things and they sell it at a cheap price. And then they employ people who are indigent. They employ the poor indigent people, and then they give them whatever, $10 an hour, $11, the minimum wage. And so what happens is indigent people are getting employment, and this company is selling stuff, and people go and buy because it is all good stuff. People, things they don't need, things that are used secondhand, they just donate it for free. And many of these things are good. Like I have a physician colleague, he wears a tie every day to the hospital, and he was telling me that all my ties are from, I'll tell you the name, Goodwill. Goodwill is a company in US. I buy all my ties from Goodwill. I buy so many things from Goodwill. So many people buy. This company Goodwill, it takes donations from people, and okay, that's good. And they sell it at a cheap price in their shops, which are there across the country. And they employ people who need employment. And that is also good. But I have read, I have not done any research myself, but what I have read is that the owners of this company, the CEO, makes millions of dollars every year. Millions of dollars. And this is company's Goodwill. It is supposed to be like a benevolent, charitable organization. So to me, making millions of dollars for a CEO of a company like Goodwill doesn't sound very fair, because you're just taking free donations from people. People are out of goodwill giving it to Goodwill, but they are actually just running a shop, selling all these things that they are getting for free from people. So I feel personally, it's my opinion, that it's better to give it to some other charitable religious organization who will give it out free to the needy people. Just give it free to the needy people. There are many churches and temples who are doing that. Instead of giving it to goodwill and letting that money go in the pockets of some CEO sitting in an air-conditioned office. So nothing against the CEOs, nothing against corporate America or goodwill. I'm not trying to target anyone, but I'm talking about a principle that there is greed. There is selfishness in this world. And we are all victims of greed and selfishness. We are also greedy. We are also selfish. So this is a problem. And Krishna consciousness is meant to overcome this problem of anger, greed, lust, envy, pride, false ego. And this is that path. Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. How to become pure. And this knowledge is pavitram. This knowledge is pavitram because it is pure. It is not, this knowledge is not some business book written by some CEO who has selfishness, ego, pride, greed in his or her heart. No, this knowledge is given by someone who is pure, purest. And who is that purest person? It is Krishna. In Bhagavad Gītā 10th chapter, Arjun himself addresses Krishna. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham Shashvatam, Divyam Ādi Devam Ajam Vibhum. Krishna is Pavitram. Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan. He is Param Pavitra. Krishna is most pure, purest. And Krishna is giving this knowledge. So knowledge is also Pavitra. And it can make us Pavitra. That is the beauty. By accepting this knowledge in our heart and applying it in our life, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we will also become Pavitra. We will also become pure. That's why this knowledge is called Pavitram. And it is called Idam Uttamam. This knowledge, Idam means this, Uttamam. Tama means what? Darkness. Uttama means that which takes us beyond darkness, that which takes us to light. Tamasoma Jyotirgam. No, don't go to darkness, go to the light. Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hai andhakar, jaha Krishna taha nahi maya ra adhikar. So this knowledge is Uttamam. It takes us beyond all tama. Uttama. It takes us beyond all darkness. Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. This knowledge, Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam, this most confidential knowledge is the knowledge of dharma. Krishna is saying. It is a knowledge of dharma, and it is not just some theoretical dharma. It is pratyaksha avagamam. Avagamam means to understand, and pratyaksha means directly we can understand this knowledge. It is not theoretical knowledge. It is very practical knowledge. Srila Prabhupada used to say, please listen carefully, that knowledge about religion without good character is useless. I repeat, knowledge about religion without good personal character is useless, Prabhupada used to say. So dharma is supposed to give rise to sadachar. Practice of dharma is supposed to make us gentlemen and gentle ladies. It is supposed to make us sadhus. Therefore, this is called as pratyaksha avagamam dharmyam. This dharma can be actually practically understood. It is pratyaksha. It is evidence-based, which means this process that Krishna is going to teach us about bhakti yoga, this is evidence-based. You see, if you just do some research, go to Google and type it out. What we practice nowadays, it is called evidence-based medicine. This is the day and age of evidence-based medicines. For the last 20 years or so, the practice of medicine has transformed, because now we follow what is called as evidence-based medicine. Everything we do, it is based on scientific evidence. There are clinical trials, randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled trials, clinical trials. There's meta-analysis. So many things are there. And based on sound research and quality evidence, we make clinical recommendations. For example, someone has appendicitis, then we look, what is the evidence that just treating with IV antibiotics or oral antibiotics, this infection can be cured, and patient doesn't have to go through an appendectomy, doesn't have to go through a surgery. So there are clinical trials, there are studies that have been done on thousands of patients with appendicitis. So then we make a recommendation. Well, based on your clinical exam, your laboratory findings, your CT scan, we feel that taking a course of antibiotics is enough, you do not need surgery. So this recommendation is being made based on evidence, based on scientific trials, the data that we have. That is called as pratyaksha. Pratyaksha means evidence. It should be evidence-based. Krishna is saying that the knowledge that I'm in, this is not some 2023. This is 5,000 years ago. And the same knowledge was given millions of years ago to Surya Dev also. Imam Vivasvate Yogo. So this is eternal knowledge, absolute knowledge. And Krishna is saying this is evidence-based knowledge. Pratyaksha. Pratyaksha is a type of praman. Praman means evidence. This is evidence-based knowledge. Pratyakshavagamam dharmam. This dharma, this path of dharma, bhakti yoga, that is being taught here, manmana bhavamat bhakto, is evidence-based. Now, I am going to ask all of you, can you give me some evidence that bhakti actually leads to purification and makes a person pavitra? Helps one become anasuyave, non-envious? Can you give some example? Is it true that bhakti can actually purify the heart? Do you have any practical evidence? The time of evidence-based medicine. Yes, Anusha Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I guess Valmiki Maharishi's transformation.
What is that? What is that verse?
Kunjantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam, the Aruhya Kavita Shakam Valmiki.
Yes,
his
that is
transformation through
yes.
Bhakti Mata's entrance in his life.
Yes, because he was a dacoit. He was Ratnakar, Daku. Now, I am talking about that verse from Ramcharitmanas. Ulta nama japata jagajana Valmiki Brahma samana. Like that. Ulta nama japata jagajana Valmiki bhai Brahma samana. He became a Brahmarshi by chanting Ulta Nam. Ulta Nama Japata Jagajana. Valmiki bhai Brahma samana. That is the verse I was talking about. That he was so sinful that he could not even chant the Harinam, Ram Nam. When Shripad Narad Muni told him, chant Ram, 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 he said, I am so sinful, I cannot chant. I have actually experienced in my life. I was once talking to a person, he many years worked in our home. He was like a family member all his life. He never got married also. When my father was young, he joined our family. He was working and he just stayed with us all his life. But very much addicted to satta. Satta is a type of gambling and also drinking alcohol regularly, practically every day. So satta and daru, gambling and intoxication, also meat eating. So he was breaking the regulative principles, performing sinful activities. When he was old, he used to just sit and watch TV all day in the house. So when I went to my hometown Akola once, I sat down next to him and I told him that, now, Bhaiya, you are so old, you just chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Namnamakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. It is all powerful. Sarva Shakti. Tatrarpita Niyamita Smarane Niyamita Smarane na Kala. Na Niyam. There are no hard and fast rules for chanting this. Anybody can chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So please chant. And for half an hour, I was sitting next to him and loudly I was chanting like this. Chant with me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And believe me, not once he chanted with me. 30 minutes he was just looking at my face like this. I said, Bhaiya, chant. He said, Baba, jamatas nahi mala. I cannot chant. I just cannot chant. I said, Ka? He said, I don't know. Mahit nahi. Me chanting us nahi karu shakta. So then I read in Bhagavad Gītā. Te to antagatam papam jananam punya karmana te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajate mam dridhavrata. That bhajate mam dridhavrata. One can do Krishna bhajan with a drid vrat. With determination, one can do Krishna bhakti only when te to antagatam papam. When we have given up our sinful activities. But if we have such a burden of sins, it is very difficult to practice Krishna bhakti. Our mind cannot fix on Krishna. So Valmiki said, I cannot chant Ram, Ram, Ram. So then Shripad Narad Muni told Ratnakar Daku, who later on became Valmiki, that you chant ulta. Mara. Mara is the name of death. Punarapi janamam, punarapi maranam. So mara, 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 mara. Ulta naam. Japata jaga jana. Valmiki bhai Brahma samana. He became a Brahmarshi. He became pure. He became Brahman. Valmiki Muni. By chanting ulta naam. Mara, 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 mara. Like that. Because mara, 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 it becomes ram, ram, ram afterwards. So this is a very good example that Mataji gave, Anusha Mataji gave, that name purifies. Even in our modern experience, we have seen Srila Prabhupada. He came and he transformed hippies into devotees. Isn't it? These hippies were drinking alcohol, breaking the 4 regulative principles. They were sleeping on the street sides, intoxicating, gambling, meat eating, illicit relationships. They were breaking all regulative principles. They had no purity. They were so, from a standpoint of dharma, they were so fallen. They were living like animals. And Srila Prabhupada comes, tells them that you have to take a bath twice a day. You have to be clean. You have to wear dhoti, kurta and saris. You have to put 12 places Gopi Chandan Tilak. And you have to wear Tulsi Mala around your neck. And you have to chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You have to wake up early in the morning. Do your Sandhya Vandana. You have to be clean and read Bhagavad Gītā, read Śrīmad Bhagavatam. They became Vaishnavas. They became very, very pure. How? By practice of this Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam. So this knowledge is pavitra, and anybody who accepts it also becomes pavitram. Pavitram idamuttam pratyakshaavagamam dharmam. It is evidence based, pratyaksha, praman, evidence, and it is susukham kartum avyayam. This practice of dharma that has been described in this 9th chapter is susukham kartum avyayam. Sukham means what? It is a very happy process. Susukham means very, very happy process. Su means ati. So sukham, but this is susukham kartum avyayam. It is everlasting. It is avyayam. It is not just some temporary process that you can do from this time to that time or this age to that age. You cannot do it a certain day of the month. You cannot do it in old age, or you cannot do it as a child. No, there are no rules and regulations. It's avyayam. It is eternal. It is everlasting. And the benefit of practicing this dharma also is everlasting. The benefit that we get doesn't have an expiry date. The benefits are eternal. And it is susukham kartum. It is performed very happily. Now tell me, what is Krishna consciousness? It is singing the names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There is Nam Sankirtan, nice musical. Our Nishikant Prabhu and his family had come on the New Year's Eve. We were so happy to have them and their family. So we were just doing kirtan. We were hearing about Krishna. Of course, it was a little heavy lecture by Amarendra Prabhu because it was New Year's Eve. So he was giving instructions. But it was nice Krishna Katha, and it was lots of Nam Kirtan. And we were just sitting, and there was nice harmonium, mridanga, kartals. We were clapping our hands. We were all singing together as a family, sitting there and singing our hearts out. And in the temple, we even dance. So what is singing, dancing? And then there was nice paneer biryani, nice cake. So tell me, eating a nice, tasty feast, singing with nice music and dancing, is this an austerity? Is it difficult to do? Or is it susukham kartum avyayam? Susukham kartum. It is happily performed, joyously performed. Anybody can do it. It is fun. It's what people do in parties. They sing and dance and eat. That's what we do. And we get avyayam. We get eternal benefit. We get freedom from birth, age, disease, death. We go to Krishna. Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam eva shashi. You come to me, Krishna says. And yam prapyana nivartante tad dham paramam mama. Krishna's param dham is that from where you never have to come back to this miserable material world. Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam shashvan napkuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gatam. So such a good deal we have got. It's unbeatable deal. It's a win-win situation for us. So Krishna is saying this knowledge is the king of education. It is the most secret of all secrets. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam. It is the purest knowledge, Pavitram. And because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is idam uttamam pratyakshavagamam dharmam. It is the perfection of religion. And susukham kartum avyayam. It is avyayam, it is everlasting, and susukham kartum. It is joyfully performed. Wow. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that there are many types of knowledge, but this is the most confidential knowledge. And Srila Prabhupada says, traditionally in India, in the Vedic library, there are 6 philosophers, 6 branches of knowledge, and they are propounded by 6 sadhus, 6 sages, and they are Shri Gautam, Shri Kannada, Shri Kapila, Shri Yajnavalkya, Shri Shandilya, and Shri Vaishwanara. There are 6 great saints who have given 6 branches of knowledge. These are spiritual and material knowledge. But Prabhupada says, and finally there is Srila Vyasadeva. But Srila Vyasadeva is the ultimate authority of knowledge. And he gave the Vedanta Sutra. And Bhagavad Gītā, Śrīmad Bhagavatam is a natural explanation of that Vedanta Sutra. And this chapter of Bhagavad Gītā, 9th chapter, entitled The Most Confidential Knowledge, is in fact the most confidential knowledge because it culminates in bhakti. It teaches bhakti. Srila Prabhupada gives a very nice, elaborate purport. I wanted to discuss many points from this purport. But all of you can read this purport. It is very nice. And I think most of it I tried to cover in the discussion. So next time, we did 2 verses today. Next time we will continue from verse number 3. This very important chapter, 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gītā. Rajavidya, the king of all knowledge. Shri Bhagavad Gītā ji ki jai. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Almost it is little late, 9 minutes over time. But if there are one or two questions, quickly we can take. Radhika Mataji has commented, Hare Krishna, the Vaishya who came to Haridas Thakur got, yes. What was her name? Lakshahira. Yes, she became Haridasi. Okay, wonderful. So no questions. Oh, there's one question. Bhakti Prada Shampaklata Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
I have a question. I want to get up every day morning 3:30, but it is not possible with me sometimes. Always I try, but 4:30 I can, but not 3:30. So how I should make a schedule that I can get up early in the morning and do my chanting? I am trying, but I could not.
So usually one has to sleep before 11 o'clock. If one sleeps before 11 o'clock, then we can wake up at 3:30. That way we are getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep. So that is the minimum required. And Prabhupada said we should not sleep more than 6 hours. So like that you can see your schedule. I don't know your schedule, how your dincharya is. So you see, but if you can sleep before 11 o'clock, that will be helpful. Also depends on your health, family situation. So all those things are there. But even waking up at 4:30 is very good. The ideal time for doing bhajan is 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Anybody who chants Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day without fail from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Will very quickly make spiritual advancement. Very quickly will get spiritual realizations and very quickly will become steady in bhakti. So,
Yes.
but 4:30 also is fine. You can chant. It just depends what time you have to get busy with your work. Whether
Yes.
it is housework, office work. If someone gets busy after 7, then one has to finish one's chanting before 7, like that. So you adjust. But 4:30 also is very good for grihasthas. Gītā Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
If I do chanting 3:30 to 5:30 or 6 and then I take nap, is that okay?
Yes, that is okay. It is not ideal. But it's okay. At least we're chanting. But our Shastra and the sadhus, they have told us, Gītā Mataji, that anybody who sleeps when the sun is rising, that is not good. A sadhak will never do that. How
Okay,
can you-
actually, I am working, and I have my office from 8 o'clock. So 8:30. So that's why I take nap and then I join.
Is it working okay for you, this type of schedule?
Yeah, 8:30 I'm working from home.
So
Yes.
before 8:30, you have some other duties also, like
Yeah.
cooking?
So yes. For my children, they go to school. So 5:30, if I take nap, around 6:37, I again wake up and start my kitchen work and everything else.
Okay, if it is working well for you and 6:30 you're up, that's okay. Because anyway, Suryodaya happens around 6:30. So that's okay.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
If it is working nicely, that's very good. It's very glorious that you're waking up early and chanting. And yeah, that's fine. You're doing good.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Anusha Mataji. Hare Krishna. Last question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My doubt is, we often get to hear, look at eyes through the eyes of Śrīmad Bhagavatam or scriptures. But my doubt here is the standards which they have set is phenomenal high, and the examples, be it Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, Kunti Devi, where are we? Where am I compared to their standards? So how do we practically take or see life through the eyes of Śrīmad Bhagavatam?
Yes, so Śrīmad Bhagavatam and the lives of our acharyas, like the lives of Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Gaur Kishore Das, Srila Jagannath Das, all these acharyas, they set the standard for what is ideal devotee life. And like you rightly identified, we are far away from that goal. But we associate with devotees who are contemporary, who are with us, like this group of devotees. So we have devotees here. We have Chirayu Prabhu, and so many other devotees are there. There is Ajinkya Prabhu, and all of you, so many Matajis, Aradhya Madhavi Mataji, every morning she is there with us chanting. So we are Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji. So we are all friends. We are all friends. And we are all fellow devotees, fellow travelers on this path of Krishna Bhakti. So we associate with each other. And we have the same struggles. We share the same problems, same challenges, isn't it? So we can relate to each other's struggles. We may not be able to relate to how Srila Prabhupada could sleep only for 1.5 hours and how he could wake up at 1 o'clock at night and translate till 4 o'clock and then chant his japa and then go for morning walk and then give Bhagavatam class. So we may not be able to relate with that, but we can relate to each other. We can relate to Rishi Prabhu. He's there every class, is there for japa. So we can relate to each other. So that's why we need devotee association, fellow devotees. We are not Uddam Adhikaris. We are sadhakas. We are trying to come to the Madhyam platform from Kanishta platform. So, and we are there to encourage each other. We are there to help each other. I will show you one video, 1 second, very quickly. For me, it is very, very inspiring. Very quickly, I'll show you, then we'll end the call. I like it very much. Okay, so 1 second.
It is the highest blessing of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in our lives to have friendship and the association of devotees.
Listen carefully.
We should not take it lightly or for granted. It has taken us millions and millions of births, suffering, birth, old age, disease, and death, to finally come to the point where the doors to the spiritual world are being opened before us through friendship and the association of devotees. If we cannot make friendships, we are rejecting the mercy the Lord has given us. And the only way to have a lasting friendship in the association of devotees, we must rise above all these dualities and all these temporary mental and physical differences. Real union is I love you and I respect you because you are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's devotee. And please help me. I need your help. And in whatever way I can serve you, I will help you. We will speak about Krishna together. If you're down, I'll help you up. If I'm down, please help me up. We'll remind each other of Krishna. We'll encourage and enthuse each other in our devotional services. We'll help each other physically, mentally, spiritually, on every level to protect each other from Maya. We'll take prasad together. We'll exchange gifts together. We'll reveal our minds together. We won't criticize each other. We'll forgive each other. We'll encourage each other. We'll raise our arms together, dance in kirtan, and together our hearts will become one as we lovingly lay our arms for His head.
Jai, Jai, Jai.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The answer to your question is we need each other. We need association.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
But we always keep the example of the acharyas as the ideal standard. That's where we want to get. So that is the ideal. We always
Hare Krishna.
to hear the lives of our
But
acharyas.
my only pitfall is that I've identified that my pitfall is that the reactions which we give should be mature enough and in line with that of our acharyas instructions, but we should not try to imitate them and commit aparadh is what I fear. That is why I wanted to reconcile how do we look through life through the eyes of Śrīmad Bhagavatam. I am not that exalted, or neither should my reactions be that exalted. It should be balanced. That striking a balance, I am failing somewhere. That is why I wanted to clarify.
So two things. One is that we have to follow the instructions of the acharyas. We cannot imitate them. We have to follow their instructions. What are they telling us to do? That we should do. Prabhupada is telling us chant at least 16 rounds. We do that. Prabhupada is telling us that you cooperate with devotees. We do that. So we just follow the instructions of our acharyas. And the second thing is, it is very good that we feel that we are falling short, because that keeps us humble. And we understand that hum bacche hai on the spiritual path. We are small, insignificant, and we have a long way to go. And that keeps us humble. And the association of devotees keeps us going, keeps us inspired. So we need both. Okay, so the answer is just follow the instructions of the acharyas. Don't try to imitate them. We just have to see what instructions they are giving us, and we should follow those instructions. And always good to feel like this, that I'm falling short, because we are, and that is good for us because it keeps us humble. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
So we'll stop here. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you.